Yo, so I'm gonna start by preferencing. Remember when, like, this idea that movies based off games, based off anime, based off TV shows was universally going to be shit? Like you just came to that conclusion, and this existed for a reason. There's this movie director who's German named Uwe Boll, right? Look him up because Germany was doing this thing where it was quote unquote promoting German culture through entertainment and through media, and they would pay movie directors or any type of like media or entertainment source to just shove out entertainment to produce like movies, TV shows, music. And you've all seen this, and he's like, okay, you know, he made a couple of movies that people will say were fine, but then somewhere down the lines, he found out that it didn't really matter if the movie was good or not, or the perception of the movie. The government would pay out regardless. So he took advantage of a system, and I mean, hell, I can respect the grind. He's probably chilling on some tropical island somewhere with babes on his arm, all while I wouldn't say he destroyed entertainment, but again, he destroyed the idea that crossing one medium into another was universally going to be shit. So why? What does this have to do with Highguard? Well, we know there is this initiative, right? This DEI initiative where money was just shoved out to promote DEI amongst media. And what happened was a lot of these companies stopped making games and start just playing the game, right? They started, like, I'm going back to Duskborn and like these games that literally weren't meant for gamers. They're meant to, I guess, just suck whatever grants and wealth. And this is something that happened in the UK and in the EU a lot. There's this need to push diversity and to pay for it, even at the expense of the products, the games themselves. Then this again brought into the collective consumer consciousness that games like Concord, like Dustborn, games, again, even just down to the base visuals, the way the game looks. You know, if, say, fucking the developers, like this look, or how the developers act, like, people will just refuse to support the game regardless, right? They will refuse to support the game, the project, the company. And the fact, and what people fail to understand is this mindset is working, right? Ubisoft stock has fallen to the point where they are about to just delist Ubisoft. Like there's no reason for them to even pay to be up there. But people again, they look at this goofy dude's haircut and they're like, "Oh, so it's gonna be that type of game." Yeah, not for me. Bland, boring characters, and the fact of the matter, again, people defended this like, "Oh, how do you know? The game's not out yet." And it's like, well, if I pull my pants down, jump up on the table, and squat over, and you're like, "What are you doing shitting on my fucking table?" I'm like, well, how do you know it's shit? I'm taking a shit. It ain't out yet. People are pattern recognitions machines. even when, especially when you demand their money for the product, right? And now again, games like this that you know just based off the visuals because it's obvious they're trying to be Overwatch clone like Highguard Overwatch, kind of like that play on words. But and as we can see on the chart, literally within the first couple of hours, they lost like half, like about a third of their players, and now it's just again teetering off. I'm surprised it got this. I'm pretty sure this many people played just to shit on the game. Like, I mean, if you're Moist Critical or like a big streamer, you get your money back. And I think this game was even free, right? Was this game free? I don't know. I haven't looked. So again, there's this consciousness that was just implanted into the mind of the consumer, and it sucks, right? Because you can have good games that just fail just based off appearance, and it's not fair. But I feel like that's just the way the market is. Like you can't, control the market. You can't shame people into purchasing a product. You can't force the money out my wallet. I guarantee this was made by AI, and this looks absolutely better than this. Not to shit on, because again, there's time, money, and effort put into these visuals by programmers and the mechanics. I mean, the game didn't even feel bad. It's just people ask, what the fuck is this game for? And again, this used to not really be in the consumer conscience until, people forced the consumer to think this way because they made games that weren't really for anybody. Like there wasn't a targeted demographic. It's for the wider audience. Which on paper, in a board meeting probably sounds smart. But you're selling art, you're selling entertainment, and I guess the Japanese has this down with anime to a science, right? I mean, America used to, but now I guess just a bunch of people that don't actually care for that have entered these spaces, have entered these companies, and you can tell how they act because they'll go after me for pointing it out. It's like, look, in any other situation, if I don't like a product, people will be like, yeah, I mean, whatever. Again, if it's something you don't care about, it's like, yeah, sure. Like, if you don't play games, and I say I don't like a game, like, you can't, really empathize or sympathize. That don't make sense. You can't really understand because you don't play games, but you have situations where people who don't play games will come after you for not liking a game, and it's like, well, what the fuck is this? Like, what the hell's going on? People will irrationally spur out at you if you don't like a game or any type of entertainment or media. And again, this puts into the conscious mind of the consumer that these people, they don't actually care if the game's good. They don't care if the product, the game, the art is good. Like, what's the term being used in 40? Owning the chuds? Well, I mean, you're definitely losing money, right? But I guess the chuds owned, I suppose. I mean, now's a perfect time to get into the gaming space if you have an idea and maybe have a little bit of money like me saved up, and you're like, well, I want to make a fucking video game. Why? Because I want to. And if all these other companies are going to shit the bed, I guess I might as well profit from it. But I liked when the gaming space was healthy in the early 2000s. Now it's not. Like now, pleasing the gamer doesn't really matter to these companies. You know, pleasing the people who put food on your fucking table doesn't really matter because they're quote unquote chuds. Like, I don't give a fuck who buys my game. I just care that to make it the best fucking possible product, you know, to sell. But that's not how, again, the people in this company thinks. Again, Jeff Keighley, I think, did a good job fucking throwing this at the end, because they made this shit in the dead of fucking night and wanted to drop it like a fucking sack of shit. But Jeff Keighley's like, oh, it's from previous developers of Titanfall and fucking Apex. And with that, he shined a light on the game. And again, now people are shitting on the game, but I guess now that the game's out, like, the best part about bad video games is when they're not out yet, and you can just shit and nitpick the fuck out of every single aspect of them. But then once they actually come out, it's like, oh, I guess the game's shit. Alright, anyway. Oh, 6 and wishlist activity, followers. I mean, and I'm assuming because it's probably free, people played it just off of curiosity. But to lose half of your fucking player base within the first couple of hours, nah, I think this game's dead on arrival, mate. I think this game's diddly dunzo, hunzo. So, well, another game that has fallen to the wayside, I suppose. I mean, I'll give it a little bit more of a look, but I think this game's cooked. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about this. Peace.